Headway Upper Intermediate, 4th edition, Student's Book, by John and Liz Saws. Published in copyright, Oxford University Press, 2014. CD1. Tape script 1.1. Tyler's tweets.
I'm spending a year in London. Tuesday, September 4th, 1:42 p.m. Still sitting in the airport in NYC. Been waiting 3 hours, but seems like forever. Tuesday, September 4th, 3:20 p.m. Just boarded the plane for London. My first trip abroad, except for a week in Mexico last year. I'm going to stay with my buddy Dave for a few days in North London before I meet my host family. Dave lives in a place called Chalk Farm? I don't get it. A farm in London? Thursday, September 6th, 4:35 p.m. It's fun here, but kinda weird. Dave doesn't live on a farm. His folks have a large apartment in a big old house. They call it a flat. I asked for the bathroom. They thought I wanted a bath. I'm learning fast. Friday, September 7th, 10:30 a.m. Dave and I are hanging out together today. We're on a bus. Upstairs. OMG. Just drove past Buckingham Palace. But they drive on the wrong side of the road here. Crazy. Also, people say cheers all the time. Isn't that from making toasts? A guy just said it to me because I let him pass. Saturday, September 8th, 7:19 p.m. First night with my host family, the Wilsons. They seem very nice. But their house is a 1,000,000-mile walk to the subway. They call it the Tube here. Saturday, September 8th, 11:10 p.m. Big day tomorrow. We're visiting Shakespeare's hometown. He wrote plays and stuff hundreds of years ago. He's mega famous.
Tape script 1.2. 1.
Where is Tyler spending the year?
In London.
2.
Is this his first trip abroad?
No, it isn't. He's been abroad once before. Last year he went to Mexico.
3.
Where does Dave live?
In North London.
4.
How long is Tyler going to stay with Dave?
A few days.
5.
Why did the guy say cheers to Tyler?
Because he had let him pass.
6.
Does he like his host family?
Yes, he does. He thinks they're very nice.
7.
What are they doing on Sunday?
They're visiting Shakespeare's hometown.
Tape script 1.3. 1.
How long has Teresa been in Africa?
Since last September.
2.
What time does she start work?
Early, at 7 o'clock.
3. What has she just bought?
A Peaky Peaky. It's a little motorcycle.
4.
Where did she go last Sunday?
To a really awesome beach.
5.
What's she going to take home?
Her collection of shells.
6.
How many shells has she collected already?
Hundreds.
7.
What did they do at the beach?
They barbecued fish and swam until the sun went down.
8.
What's she sending to her parents?
She's sending some photos.
Tape script 1.4. 1.
Are you being served, sir?
Oh, just looking, thank you.
2.
I've heard that she's been seeing a lot of Patrick recently.
3.
I'll be seeing Bill this afternoon. I'll tell him the good news then.
4.
Apparently, he was overtaking on a bend at 70 miles per hour when they stopped him.
5.
I hadn't seen her since she was a little girl, and she'd changed beyond all recognition.
6.
Nobody will listen to him. He's the kind of guy who isn't believed by anyone.
7.
I haven't been told yet if I've got it. I'll be told in writing sometime next week.
8.
He's been working such long hours recently. He never sees the children.
Tape script 1.5. 1.
At weekends, I often don't bother getting up till lunchtime.
Me neither. Why bother if you don't have to?
2.
My parents have never had a crossword in all their married lives.
Really? Mine are at it all the time.
3.
Ugh, I don't think I'll ever master this remote control.
Well, don't ask me. I can't even find the on-off button.
4.
I was saying to a friend just the other day that I hadn't seen you for ages.
I know. How long has it been?
5.
I hate Mondays because nothing ever goes right on a Monday.
Just Mondays, eh? Huh. Aren't you the lucky one?
6.
I'd just arrived home last night when I realised I'd left my briefcase on the bus.
Well, you won't see that again.
7.
I was just getting ready to go out this morning when my grandmother rang for a chat. It's so frustrating.
I know, and you feel really bad if you say it's not a good time.
8.
I've been told that our teacher wears purple pyjamas in bed. Who on earth told you that?
9.
In my very first English lesson, I was taught to introduce myself and say hello.
I was taught to say the cat runs after the mouse and stuff like that. Useful, huh?
10.
The reason I'm learning English is because it's spoken all over the world.
True, but isn't Chinese spoken by more people?
Tape script 1.6. 1.
Heard about Jane and John? Thought not.
I always thought they got on really well.
Apparently not. John's been seeing his ex-girlfriend.
2.
Leaving already? What's wrong?
I just have a headache, that's all.
3.
Failed again. How many times is that?
OK. There's no need to rub it in. They say the best drivers fail 3 times.
4.
Sorry I'm late. Been waiting long?
No, I've just arrived myself. Got caught in traffic.
5.
Doing anything interesting this weekend?
Yeah, if you call housework interesting. I've just got to tidy my flat this weekend.
6.
Like the car. When did you get it?
We've had it a while, actually. Second hand, you know.
7.
Bye, Joe. See you later.
Yeah, I'll be round about 8.
8.
Just coming. Hang on.
Get a move on or we'll go without you.
9.
Want a lift? Hop in.
Great. Can you drop me in the centre?
10.
Seen Jim lately?
No, I haven't. I wonder what he's up to these days.
Tape script 1.7. Things I Miss from Home. Margaret.
There's only one thing I really miss about where I come from, and that's the sea. I'm originally from Yorkshire, and although I came to live here in Germany 30 years ago, I still miss the northeast coast of England. There's just something about the sea. Where I live now, there's a river, and I often go down to it. There's some nice walks along the banks. It's lovely, but it's not really the same. The thing about the sea is that it changes all the time. And not just every day, but every time of day. Every wave that comes is different from the last one. In my hometown, when the tide comes in, the water comes right up the road, and then, when it goes out, there's just miles and miles of sand. It can take an age to walk to the sea. It's a source of amazement to me every time I see it.
Mary.
The thing I miss about Scotland is probably the weather, believe it or not. Up there, the air is quite crisp and clear, and the temperature is cooler. I find where I live now, in Madrid, it gets so hot and humid in summer, and a little bit sticky as well.
Rob.
All right, well, I've been living in France for the last 20 years, and I suppose the things I miss most about Britain, my original home, is, well, first of all, the obvious things, like every Brit living abroad. I miss some typical English foods. For me, that means curry, digestive biscuits, brown sauce, porridge, and, of course, good English bitter beer. What else do I miss? Socially, I think I miss the way that people go out together in Britain. I miss the chat, the banter. I miss meeting friends in pubs. Or the way that people talk to each other at football matches. I miss that sparky British humour on a day-to-day basis. On a perhaps a more serious note, I miss having a vote. In Britain, you lose your vote once you've been out of the country for more than 15 years, and because I haven't taken French nationality, I don't have a national vote here. So I don't get to vote anywhere these days. I guess that's one of the things I miss most.
Joe.
So things that I miss about the UK? The first would be bread. The bread here in the States seems to stay too fresh for a long time. And it doesn't actually make particularly good toast. And being British, toast is an important thing. And, another important thing is related to work. I found working in the US surprisingly different from the UK. In the US, it's very important to be very upbeat and positive about what you can do, which, you know, is true to a certain extent in the UK, but I think in the UK it's kind of okay to be good at what you do and just get on with it. Over here, you're kind of expected to be a salesman, you know, like you should be selling yourself and your abilities. I guess in a way the Brits are just a bit more modest at work. And I kind of like that modesty. I'm not particularly good at selling myself. I just like to get on with my job, and I don't feel the need to tell everyone how good I am, but that's kind of the way things are over here.
Tatiana and Sem.
One thing I miss living in England is the food from back home. All the seasonal products and the enjoyment of going to the farmer's market to buy fresh cottage cheese from a lady that your grandma has known since you were little.
That's right. Apricots, melons, tomatoes just don't taste right in this country.
Yeah, and it seems that the most elusive fruit here is a ripe watermelon. I keep buying them, but every single one is a disappointment. I'll always miss the watermelons we used to get from the south of Ukraine.
That's right. So, enough about food. What I miss most is the language. There is nothing quite like walking along the street and feeling like you are part of something bigger than yourself. hearing your own language. I always feel a bit small when I'm abroad, and all I hear is a foreign language. It's like I'm a bit insecure, and I'm missing something. It's hard to explain.
I know what you mean. Also, I find it hard to be away from home on national holidays. Some of our traditions are just impossible to recreate. You just don't get the same feeling of people coming together to celebrate in the streets.
Sean.
I live with my dad on the East Coast, but, I visit my mom in Florida lots of times a year. The one thing I miss is my drums. You see, I'm in a rock band, but I can't travel with my kit, so I have to leave it at home. Dude, it's like torture. I can't wait to get home to Dad's and sit at my drums and get playing again. My mom says I miss them more than I miss her.
Tape script 1.8. Lost and Found.
It was late at night. We got off the train, and I was so tired that I just sat down at the train station, and I ended up falling asleep. It was a very scary place to be. I don't think any mother or father would like to have their 5-year-old wandering around alone in the slums and train stations of Calcutta. I was scared. I didn't know where I was. I accepted that I was lost and that I couldn't find my way back home, so I thought it was great that I was going to Australia. I multiplied the time I was on the train, about 14 hours, with the speed of Indian trains, and I came up with a rough distance, about 1,200 kilometres. When I found it, I zoomed down and bang! The waterfall where I used to play. The last time I saw her, she was 34 years old and a pretty lady. I'd forgotten that age would get the better of her, but then I recognised her and I said, "Yes, you are my mother." She grabbed my hand and took me into her house. She couldn't say anything to me. She had a bit of trouble grasping that her son, after 25 years, had returned. She had long feared I was dead. You see, a month after I'd disappeared, my brother was found in 2 pieces on a railway track. We were extremely close, and when I left my mother, I was heartbroken, knowing that my older brother had passed away.
Tape script 1.9. 1.
Do you think you could possibly water my houseplants for me? I'm away on business for 2 weeks.
No problem. I'd be glad to. I'll keep an eye on your whole flat if you like.
Oh, that would be great.
Don't worry. I know how house-proud you are. I'll make sure everything stays clean and tidy.
I'll do the same for you any time, you know.
Thanks.
2.
Julie, have you heard? Anna's just been made managing director of the UK branch of her firm, so she's coming back from the States.
Oh, that's great news. Let's give her a spectacular homecoming party when she gets back. She's certainly the career girl of the family.
Doing really well, isn't she?
I know, and I'm happy for her. Me, I'm just a housewife. 4 kids, homemade cakes and homegrown vegetables.
And how are my wonderful grandchildren?
3.
We're having a housewarming party on the 12th. Can you come?
Yes, you bet. We'd love to. But I didn't know you'd moved.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. It's much bigger than the old one. Huge kitchen and 3 big bedrooms.
Ooh, sounds great.
Yeah. Mind you, there's much more housework to do.
That's a drag.
4.
Mum, I want to come home. I don't like it here.
Oh, Max, come on now. You were so looking forward to going to camp.
But Mum, I hate it here. Why won't you and Dad come and get me?
Max, we can't. I never thought you'd be so homesick. And you'll be home in 2 days.
2 more
5.
Hey, you going to Carly's on Saturday?
I dunno.
It's an open house. It'll be great.
Cool. Where are her parents then?
Carly says they're visiting her grandma. She's sick and housebound, so they have to help.
OK, count me in. I'll be there.
Tape script 1.10. 1.
I'm going away for 2 weeks. Do you think you could possibly water my houseplants for me?
2.
Don't worry. I know how house-proud you are. I'll make sure your flat stays clean and tidy.
3.
Let's give her a spectacular homecoming party when she gets back from New York.
4.
Me? I'm just a housewife. 4 kids, homemade cakes and homegrown vegetables.
5.
We're having a housewarming party on the 12th. Can you come? I'll give you our new address.
6.
The drag is, with it being much bigger, there's much more housework to do.
7.
Oh, poor boy. I never thought he'd feel so homesick.
8.
Her grandma's sick and housebound, so they have to go and help.
Tape script 1.11. 1.
Great to see you. Come on in.
I was just passing and thought I'd drop in.
2.
Excuse me, don't I know you from somewhere?
No, I don't think so.
3.
What do you mean you're not coming?
Well, I just don't feel up to going out tonight.
4.
I'll have the chocolate mousse. What about you?
Actually, I don't think I'll bother with dessert.
5.
My flatmate can't make it to your party.
Really? That's a shame. I was hoping to meet her.
6.
How come you're not having a holiday this year?
We just can't afford it.
7.
You really should take it easy. You look stressed out.
That's as maybe, but I have a lot on at work.
8.
I've got you the last 2 tickets for the show.
Oh, great stuff! I knew you'd swing it for us.
Tape script 1.12.
Excuse me, is this yours?
Oh, let me see. Yes, it is. Thank you. I must have dropped it.
Are you going far?
Yeah, all the way to London. What about you?
I'm getting off at Bristol.
Oh, do you live there?
Actually, no. I work in Bristol, but I live in Bath.
Lucky you. I think Bath's a beautiful city.
Yeah, you and thousands of others.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, the tourists. There are just so many all year round.
Oh, yes, that's a drag. You don't like tourists, then?
Well, I shouldn't really complain.
How come? You can complain if you want.
Not really. You see, I'm a travel agent, so I make a living from them.
Oh.
Tape script 1.13. 1.
Excuse me, don't I know you from somewhere?
Actually, I don't think so.
Weren't you at Gavin's party last week?
Not me. I don't know anyone called Gavin.
Well, someone who looked just like you was there.
Well, that's as maybe, but it certainly wasn't me.
I am sorry.
2.
Tony, hi. Great to see you.
Well, I was just passing and I thought I'd drop in and say hello.
Come on in. Have a drink.
You sure? You're not too busy?
Never too busy to talk to you.
Thanks, Joe. It'd be really nice to have a chat.
Fantastic. Let me take your coat.